Hey everybody, Carl here at 3 Acre Paradise. Over the last couple weeks we've had a whole lot of rain, and with rain comes flooding. We get a lot of puddles around the property, and I've got this mulch spread everywhere, so there's just water everywhere, and that results in a lot of mosquitoes. They're still really bad, but I've managed to knock it down a lot. So I'm going to show you a couple things I've done that seem to have helped. This hasn't worked 100%, but like I say, I think it's made it a lot more manageable. First thing is I bought this Mosquito Magnet last year. Got it on sale, end of season sale, but didn't get to try it out till this year. And pretty impressive. I've used bug zappers and the bug vacuums and things like that before. They catch everything but mosquitoes, and this specifically targets it, especially when you use the right bait, I guess you'd call it. So that's that little cartridge down there in the bottom. But real quick, let me show you what 5 days looks like here. So this is, I'll do this one-handed. If you can see this bag, look at down there. Oh, the fan's not even running. This thing must have shut off for some reason. Maybe the batteries are dead. But what we've got is a bag full of mosquitoes. Look at that. This thing is completely full. There is so many in there that they're just plugging it on the way out. So I'm going to shut the camera off here for a second, and I'll empty this and come right back. All right, I've got this bag unloaded. There's my hand. I mean, that is complete. Those are dead mosquitoes. Look at that. Gotta be, I don't know, a couple 100,000 in there. So that's the Mosquito Magnet, but it has stopped working. I haven't been out here a few days. So let's see what's going on. I hear the fan starting up real slow. That light's blinking. Yeah, I got a feeling the batteries are probably dead. Anyways, I'll come back and troubleshoot that if it doesn't stay on. Now, the propane tank should have plenty of fuel. Propane tank's supposed to last, I believe, 30 days. They say the batteries will last a few months. So they should be good. That was a new set of batteries. So I don't know when it stopped, but it sure did its job. So you can see that pile of mosquitoes down there now. The bad part is these are expensive, and got a lot of property to cover here. This unit's supposed to cover an acre, so I don't know if that's really going to be accurate or not. But anyways, I'll go on to the next item that I use. All right, here's item number 2. These are Spartan mosquito eradicators. And you hang 4 of these up for a property this size. That's supposed to cover a little more than an acre. But I figure if I can cover the center acre, that at least gives me a lot of room to work. They're real simple. You just basically fill them with water. They have a sugar, a yeast, and I guess a salt in there. So mosquitoes feed on it, and then they leave, and then they die. So it's a lot harder to judge how well these work, but they are very highly rated. So I've got these 4 sitting around the property. Like I said, over the last week or so, population's really gone down. So I can't really judge how effective they are, but like I said, the property has gotten a lot better, so I'm hoping that these had a lot to do with it. So one more thing, besides personal defense, which would be like mosquito spray on my body, but I'll show you the next thing that I do. It's a spray, like an atomizer, and it's something you got to do when it's not windy. but it works really good. So let me go over to that now. All right, this is the third item in my mosquito arsenal here, for the yard protection at least. This is a insect fogger, and what it is, it's a little propane powered device, and you fill that tank with a spray. What I'm gonna do, it's one-handed, so like you can tell, it just lit there, so it's on right now. Basically, you heat up that coil. The propane heats up that coil. You just light it. You wait a couple minutes for it to heat up. As soon as it's heated up here, I'll give the trigger a squeeze. When you squeeze the trigger, you're just pumping some of the fluid into that coil and it atomizes it. The idea is you do it when there's really no wind, and that fog will just settle on all the puddles and little water areas where the mosquitoes are breeding. Okay, it's starting to get warmed up here. This works really well. I can definitely say this is my top item. You can kind of see it going. It's just spitting out the fluid from the last run. When we're gonna have a outside gathering of any sort and there's mosquitoes, I'll start running this about 7 to 10 days before the party or get together, and go out about every other night, shoot around the yard, and by the time the party's going, we got no mosquitoes. And all the items I've used so far specifically target mosquitoes, so you're not going to reduce your beneficial pollinator population. So there we go. There we go. See how it just fogs there? Just squeeze the trigger. There we go. So basically, you just walk around the yard and get everything you can with that. Works really well. This is a product I highly recommend if you have a mosquito issue. You see that it's starting to glow red. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. It's too windy right now to spray. Plus it's getting ready to rain. So those are my 3 yard defenses. As far as personal, so first and foremost, I just use a spray. Oh, it's over here. It's one of my favorites. This is 100%, or it's 98.11% DEET. So a couple shots of that on each arm and leg, and no mosquitoes. I generally don't put it on my face. Mosquitoes seem to like to stay low, so that hasn't been an issue. And let me look for one more item here. This will be another personal, call it personal protection type item. And it looks like it's not where it's supposed to be. So let me go find it and get right back. I found what I was looking for. This is called a Thermos Cell. And the reason we keep it on the golf cart is we go down to our local park and we park the cart, and if you just leave this running wherever, it creates a barrier for around 15 feet around the device. So we could sit on the cart as long as it's not windy, and it keeps all the mosquitoes away. If I'm gonna go work in part of the yard and just stay in one area and the mosquitoes are out, I can just take this, turn it on, go set it by something, and we're good to go. Just leave it run for a few minutes before I get out there. It's got a little butane cartridge, and it has this pad that has the, not an insecticide, but it's a repellent. Basically, you turn it on, push the button 5 times, and it's just going to heat that pad. It doesn't get very hot. You see my fingers right on top of it right now. And when you're done, just turn it off. Don't remember exactly how long they last. I think each pad and cartridge lasts like 4 hours. You can refill them. It's not something that the company likes you to do, but if you look on YouTube, there's videos on how to put new butane in the cartridges and how to basically put the mosquito repellent back in the pads, so you can save yourself some money on refills. But if you really don't use it that often, it's not that expensive to run. Nice thing about it is you're not spraying yourself with anything, and it works really well. So those are my mosquito defenses. 3 for the yard, 2 personal. I prefer to use this when I can, just because I'm not spraying myself. But if I'm just wandering all over the yard, I'll go ahead and spray the mosquito spray, insect repellent, all over myself. So I hope this was helpful for somebody. These are my tried and true solutions so far. Like I say, I've used bug zappers. I've had, I can't remember what they're called, but basically it's like a vacuum with an attractant and a ultraviolet light. Can't remember what they were called, but they caught all kinds of insects, but not really mosquitoes. Everything I use now specifically targets mosquitoes and doesn't harm any other pests or insects. So hope you find this useful. If you have any other ideas, I'd like to see them in the comment section. Thanks a lot.